Hello everyone at the IEA workshop. My name is Zifei Yang. I'm a researcher at ICCT, the International Council on Clean Transportation. Sorry that I couldn't make the trip to present in person. I hope this remote presentation will work well. I'd like to use the following time to show you how governments around the world use labeling programs to promote efficient vehicles. First, a few more words about my organization. ICCT is an independent research organization that aims to improve the environmental performance and efficiency of transportation sector. We work closely with regulators in major vehicle markets and provide technical support to policymaking. Talking about policies that promote vehicle fuel efficiency, there's usually a variety of policies adopted by regulators around the world, including the vehicle fuel efficiency standards that mandate manufacturers to produce more efficient vehicles, the fiscal policies that levy tax on vehicles or fuel to influence consumers' purchase decision or driving distance. There's market-based approaches like the US Smart Way to incentivize technology uptake. And the vehicle fuel efficiency labeling program that I'm talking about falls under the information measures. So, how does the efficiency labeling program make a difference? This is how I picture it. The most direct impact of labeling program is to raise consumer awareness of vehicle fuel economy and to raise the importance of fuel economy in their purchase decision. Then, really important, the labeling program is an enabler for other fuel efficiency policies that I mentioned in the previous slides. On one hand, it collects fuel efficiency of the current fleet that allow the establishment and operation of more effective policies like the standards or fiscal policies. So getting the fuel efficiency data consistently is really a foundation for these policies. On the other hand, if the country already have such policies, the labeling program create a way to present the benefits of these policies to consumer. And these impacts are expected to have further impact on both demand and supply sides in the market, and therefore improve the fuel economy of the fleet in the long run. To make it clear before we dive into it, the labeling program covers not only the paper label that stick on the car or the stand in the showroom, but also include information showed online and through other medias like brochure, TV, broadcast. It also includes the consumer information campaign that run by the government is to make sure the program is better known by the consumers. Up to date, there are many countries around the world that is running a vehicle labeling program. From the timeline you see, the UK and US started the program as early as 1978, and more recently, more and more developing countries launched such program, like China, Brazil, Chile, Vietnam. Thailand just started its program this year. There are other countries that are not on this figure, like Saudi Arabia, but in general, it just shows the popularity of this program, and it's easy to set up. As I said, it could also open more opportunities to improve vehicle fuel efficiency in the long term. We were commissioned by APAC to study all the labeling program in this figure and conducted survey to understand the development and operation of these programs to learn what works, what doesn't work, and summarize best practices. Here is part of what we found. We identified 6 key dimensions for efficiency labeling program. It covers the whole cycle of the program, from legislative framework to designing to compliance and monitoring. Among these, 3 of the 6 elements are more closely related to the consumers, and that is program design, the label design information, as well as the consumer outreach. First is to design a program that covers as many consumers as possible, and also make sure the targeted consumers actually like the idea of the program. Regulators prefer to make labeling mandatory to make sure every car has a label on it. If used cars consist a big portion of the market, especially in some developing countries, regulators would want to put a label on used cars as well. In general, a wider scope, including more vehicle types and field types, would maximize the impact of the program. Then you need to learn what consumers like and dislike to make the program more attractive to the consumers, right? In fact, the consumer preference and their view on fuel economy are varied by countries, and their attitudes even change over time. So it is critical for the government to know the expectations of their audience. And usually they do it through market survey or market research. Moreover, it is really important to make sure the information present on the label reflect the efficiency performance in the real world. If the fuel efficiency on the label doesn't match with what the car owner really experienced in driving, it would hurt the credibility of the labeling program, and then it will miss the true purpose of this program. So having a mechanism to get reliable number is very important in this case. As I said, regulators would want to present information that could well deliver the message and also attractive to consumers. The bar chart lay out the popularities of different type of information on the label. There's basic information like field type and a relevant website shown on most labels. Some labels even use the QR code, which make it more convenient that consumers can use their phone to scan the code and get on the website directly. Then the yellow and purple bars shows the fuel economy and CO2 emissions in different formats. Some are the absolute value, some shows the ratings of fuel economy or CO2 that help consumers to better understand the comparative efficiency or emission of the vehicle. Some show separated value for city or highway driving. Some just show the combined value in general. Some labels also show the fiscal related incentives. Many studies show that the cost of the vehicles is the top concern of consumers. So showing the fuel cost saving or any fiscal benefits that from our existing tax system make the information more relevant to consumers' daily life. There are also some labels that make room for other information, such as the conventional pollutant emission level. So these two labels provide examples of how regulators make combination of various information to better deliver the message. The left upper one is the label in Singapore. The absolute fuel economy and CO2 emissions are the key information on the label in bigger and bold font. The fuel economy range on the side help consumers to better understand the comparative ranking of this model, which is to see how is fuel economy or CO2 emission compared to other vehicles in the whole fleet. In addition, Singapore provides fiscal incentive to promote efficient vehicles. So the label clearly shows how much tax benefits the buyer can get from these vehicles. Imagine if there's a vehicle with higher CO2 emission, the arrow will move right to the red area, and the consumers will clearly tell how much more tax they need to pay if they buy a vehicle with higher CO2 emissions. Also, the label design need to consider the alternative fuel vehicles that is currently entering the market. On the right bottom side is the label for a plug-in electric vehicles in UK. Showing CO2 emission value and the ranking make it comparable to the other conventional vehicles. The label also shows the fuel saving and the benefit from the tax system that emphasize the cost benefit of buying electric vehicles. There is also space for additional information that matters to the car buyers, like the driving range, the electric consumptions, etc. So in general, many regulators conduct studies and survey to learn consumers' attitude before they decide what to put on the labels. We learned that the labeling program has a wide scope. Not only the label itself, but also the consumer campaign is important to a successful labeling program. As of today, more and more people start to do shopping research online long before they step in the showroom. A UK study found 80% of consumers carry out car research online, and 27% people in New Zealand bought their cars on the internet. So expanding the labeling beyond the showroom is a must. This would include regulating information online and also other electronic or printed promotional materials. Here are some examples. A labeling-related website can show more detailed information that doesn't fit in the small piece of paper and provide additional service beyond the label. Like this website allow consumers to compare different models side by side with full vehicle information. Given more and more people prefer to read message on smartphone, some labeling programs even make the website user-friendly for a portable device and make it as part of their marketing strategy. And this is another example where you can input real fuel price and annual driving range that you have, and the system will calculate and compare the fuel cost for you across multiple models. This is a big improvement from the paper label, where you can only make assumptions and cannot make any adjustment to different car buyers. So such website can also provide the labeling program introduction, fiscal incentive information, eco-driving suggestion, and so on. Many labels have a website address on it, as you can see, but not all of them have this full range of information and services. The final objective of this website and additional information is to extend consumer outreach and risk awareness. Of course, there are a lot about the management side to keep the program running and ensure effectiveness. You need a right regulatory system to empower agencies to establish and implement the program. If there is other fuel efficiency policies in the place, it is critical to make sure the labeling program could make a good complementary. When the program is up and running, the regulators need to encourage the compliance and have the mechanism to monitor and report the progress of the program. Periodic assessment will help regulators review the program, find challenges and opportunities, and improve the program as it goes along. As to the outcome of the labeling program, we actually find it is hard to really quantify its impact on the fleet efficiency. Its impact is always mixed with many other elements, such as other fuel efficiency policies, the global market trends, etc. This figure shows the CO2 emission trends in some countries, and the countries with solid line means they have labeling program. Also, the parenthesis is the number of various fuel efficiency policies they have adopted. As you may see, countries that have labeling program usually adopt more other efficiency-related policies. If there is one takeaway, I would say a vehicle fuel efficiency labeling program itself may not be sufficient to promote fleet fuel efficiency, but such a program is very necessary because it's an enabler to other policies. It is an important stepstone that enables regulators to do more to promote efficient vehicles. That's all. Thank you for your attention. If you are interested, you could find more information through the link to our report. Thank you very much.